Wait no longer, greatness has arrived. Welcome to the Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players. I'm your host, Joseph, aka Mr. Badbit, and it is here where me and my best friend Kyle talk about the latest and greatest in all things PlayStation. Of course, you can listen to the show wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube at Badbit Games. And if you like what you hear, please consider dropping us a 5-star review on iTunes. And if you really like us, consider dropping a buck our way over at patreon.com/badbit. So with all that said, with all that out of the way, the greatest co-host, whoever is, whoever will be, Mr. Kyle Stevenson, how are you, sir?
Doing fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm going to let the listeners know right now in case it bleeds through the audio. They're doing an Olympics upstairs. Dude. I don't know what my nieces are doing, but they're stomping around, going for a gold medal in, I don't know, like The Office with the yogurt lids.
Yeah.
They're competing for those kind of medals. I have no idea why.
It sounds like almost like, for me, when I hear it in my headphones, it sounds like a horror movie where like you hear the pattering upstairs, you're like, they're in the building.
Yeah, the Babadook is coming after me somewhere.
The Babadook. Hey, by the way, before we talk about all the the PlayStation stuff, you got me a really awesome gift that meant a lot to me. Many of them. So if video version, if you're in your car, pull over, or do whatever, just do what you got to do. Right? It's a quarantine. We're all trying to do something to survive. You got me a Horizon Zero Dawn, a Bloodborne, God of War.
Yeah.
And Last of Us, right?
No,
Spider-Man. Sorry. Spider-Man PS1 styled cases.
Yeah.
So these are all PS4 games.
Yeah.
But they're in the PlayStation 1 Jewel case that you could get on Etsy, right? That's where you got it?
Yeah, that's where I got them on Etsy. I have some of them as well back there.
Yeah.
But I wanted to get you the games where I know brought you into PlayStation. And they define your PlayStation love. So I'm happy you enjoy them. They look great.
And here's the thing, ironically, my favorite one is not Bloodborne. My favorite one,
can I tell you, it's Horizon, right?
Yeah.
It's such a good cover.
It's such a good cover. It's so
good.
freaking good. A close second is the God of War one. Because I think that one just it fits so perfectly. Yeah. Again, they're all terrific cases. So thank you so much. That's
anytime, man. If people want it, I'll tweet out the link.
Yeah.
If he still has them, because they are real. There were other ones they have Resident Evil. Ooh. And I was like, I thought about it, but they're not PlayStation exclusives.
Right. Yeah. That doesn't make too much sense. I can't wait for the PlayStation 5 games, the remake of Demon Souls and Ratchet and Clank, Rift Apart. People are so creative, way more creative than we'll ever be.
Right?
I think is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
But listen, there's a lot to talk about today. Okay, we got more drama about the PlayStation 5 exclusive Spider-Man Miles Morales bundling with possibly Spider-Man Ps4 Remaster. We're talking about Cuphead coming to the PlayStation 4, Fall Guys dropping onto PlayStation Plus, and of course, Marvel's Avengers wartable discussion. But before we get into all that, we usually talk about what you've been playing, but because and we're also talking about Ghost of Tsushima sales and updates. Yeah. But because there's so many games that we're playing right now that are actually in the news, we're going to actually sprinkle what you've been playing throughout the show. So, and of course, before we go and square up the news, I do have to thank our patrons over at patreon.com/badbit. Your generosity this month has been out of this world, and I couldn't appreciate your generosity enough. Of course, if we've gotten you through a long car ride, a tough day at work, or this whole quarantine business, it would definitely mean a lot. Go over to patreon.com/badbit, support the show at any tier you're comfortable with. And of course, I'd like to thank our newest silver member, the Winter Gamer, and our newest gold member, Gavin Gottfried. And speaking of gold members, thank you, Griffin West, Robbie Bobby Miller himself. Thank you all. And our silver plus members, Marcus O'Neill, Ray Martinez, JB the Purple Monkey himself, and Tim Ulf. Thank you all so much for supporting the show the way you do. It keeps the lights on and makes us sound good and afford these awesome mics that we got right now. Seriously, it means so much to us, and I couldn't be more grateful for your support. But with that, let's get into some PlayStation news. Kyle, it's time to square up the news.
First story comes from Brianna Reeves over at PlayStation Lifestyle. She writes, Spider-Man Miles Morales may be bundled with remastered Marvel's Spider-Man. Following the reveal of Spider-Man Miles Morales at last month's PS5 event, Insomniac had plenty to clarify. First and foremost, the Miles Morales content is a standalone adventure, not a full sequel. But it seems Insomniac and Sony will soon have even more explaining to do. Reportedly, Sony will bundle Miles Morales with a remastered version of Marvel's Spider-Man. The latest issue of Game Informer magazine, number 327, makes note of the bundle in a section about Miles' forthcoming adventure. Reddit user 77good123 shared an image of a blurb from the issue that reads, quote, Miles Morales isn't a traditional sequel, since it comes bundled with a remastered version of Insomniac's Spider-Man that takes full advantage of the PS5 hardware, end quote. As of writing, neither Sony nor Insomniac have shared plans to bundle the two games together. Moreover, there's no official word on whether the original Spider-Man title will receive a remaster for the PS5. Talk of this in Game Informer's latest issue suggests one of two things. Either such a bundle is in the works and Sony is simply waiting to offer more details, or Game Informer misunderstood a bit of info along the way. Given the confusion that already surrounds the Miles Morales standalone, the former seems especially plausible. The formal announcement of a bundle would also necessitate the reveal of pricing details for the games. Because Sony has yet to share the PS5's price point, first-party game pricing may be waiting in the wings too, if the rumored state-of-play date of August 6th proves true. Perhaps we'll learn something more concrete then.
Just perhaps. Now, here's the thing about this game, right? We're both hyped for it. But the one thing that I constantly keep hearing on the internet is that all this game is DLC. It's not a real game, quote unquote. It's, though Insomniac has come out and said this is a standalone experience. Yeah. We have that PlayStation exec saying that the story is anywhere between 5 to 10 hours. And a lot of people have problems with that, although the original story was about 15 to 20 hours. So it seems like the story may be somewhere cut in half for Miles. Having this news here, or at least this leak coming from Game Informer, Kyle, I want to note something. Game Informer may, put an asterisk, misunderstood a bit of info along the way. They're a print publication still. So I know, as my sister-in-law worked in journalism, paper journalism, and the whole thing was about deadlines. So they could have printed something, and now in a month from now have to print a retraction or take a step back and going, whoa, we misunderstood. We misread what Sony was delivering us with the PlayStation 5 materials they gave us, but. What do you think this is? Is this a gaffe from Game Informer? Or do you think that this game is, okay, since it's a smaller experience, they're going to go, okay, gang, here's also, let's just say there's $30, quote unquote, of content in this Morales game. Let's just give you Spider-Man Ps4 Remastered, and we're talking from the ground up, like the engine and everything. You can swing as fast as you want. An extra suit here or there for Peter. And we're going to bundle it together for $60 and hope people aren't pissed off about that. What do you think this is? Is this a misunderstanding, or is this a misdirection from gamers and expectations?
It's hard to describe, because when this first was announced the day after, there was that thing going around that, yes, there is going to be a Spider-Man Ps4 Remaster on PS5.
Yeah.
And this would be either woven into the story somehow, and it'd just be one big package. But then they came back, standalone. And which, by the way, if you are mad over a standalone Spider-Man game, 3 words, or 4 words, Uncharted: The Lost Legacy is... one of the best Uncharted games, bar none, and that was a DLC standalone game.
Yeah. First Light, from what I hear, is
First
fantastic.
Light, too.
Better than the game itself in a standalone DLC.
Yeah. I think there might be some misunderstanding going around because the information is so murky and it's coming out so weird. I don't understand how both big names, Microsoft and Sony, their messaging, it just seems so disorganized when it comes to their biggest games and franchises. Nintendo even as well for their lack of talking. Like it seems so weird.
Yeah.
Going into the next generation. So I think it was just a misunderstanding. I think it is a standalone thing. I also fully believe that there is going to be a Spider-Man Ps4 Remaster.
Yeah.
Like, that was their thing to show off the loading speeds on PS5. Like, that would not shock me at all.
I think for this, I think it could be a misunderstanding that they had to print it out, or they had a deadline at the end of that conference to get out there and get these magazines printed, and they printed that out because like the day after, Insomniac came out going, no, this is a standalone game, this is no DLC, this is a separate story in this Marvel Spider-Man universe, our universe. With that, I do believe that really it could go either way. This could be, all we know, just a DLC. It took 2 years to make this game, to craft this game. Although they had, the engine, characters, assets that they could just throw into this game. They still had to make that story. They still have to craft levels and new mechanics and whatnot. So for me, I am expecting, walking in, a 7 to 10 hour experience. But also, even if this game is like a 5-10 hour quote-unquote DLC that could be on a PlayStation 4 as well, this is still way better in terms of like launch titles that we get anyway. Like, to go back on what you were saying about the Halo reveal, right? How both these companies have kind of done not a great job at kind of marketing these big tentpole titles that are supposed to sell these consoles. Halo took hits because of half of a frame of a brute, right? Craig the Brute. Hashtag Craig the Brute. I love it. But like, we saw like, oh, this doesn't look next gen from what we were hearing, or what we were, quote unquote being promised, though I don't believe that wholeheartedly. Both games that are launching these consoles both have like their crosses to bear sort of feeling. Is like they both have something to prove, and to me this has also been kind of blown out of proportion in terms of like Puddlegate. Remember Puddlegate?
It's stupidest argument I've ever heard.
Yeah, it was like a few days. I mean, we were covering it, we were baffled by it. We're just like, it's a puddle and it's been moved, but you're saying it's what? Yes.
I think at this point, like if you are deep into listening to video game podcasts and watching the coverage of video games and watching E3 trailers, you know that the first E3 trailers usually are different from the end product. Right. It doesn't matter what game it is. It always changes. Like, I think about when Breath of the Wild was first shown off. That is not what the end product looked like at all.
Right.
But
still
you don't
an
really
amazing
hear
game, though.
Yeah, you really don't hear people complaining about that at all. At least from my secluded, not really focused on Nintendo circle. Yeah. But like it happens. So it just like fighting over a puddle like that was just ridiculous.
Well, so here's the question though. What if it is DLC, right? Like, I mean, the reason why I fight against it, they could bundle Spider-Man in there for all they know for newcomers, but like there's just a rumor or a patent Sony filed for machine learned super sampling, something similar to what Microsoft's doing with their backwards compatible games. So it looks like Sony's going to be doing something similar on the PlayStation 5. Again, knock on wood, because that sounds awesome. Yeah. So like, what if this is just a DLC, really a $30-$40 game? How would that feel to you that like, should I go out there, buy a $500 console for this $30 game type of thing?
Oh, yeah.
Like, does it justify, like, how would that make you feel? Would it make you feel nice?
I mean, personally, for me, I think it would feel great. Like, the new Spider-Man game. Yeah, I think that justifies it. No matter how big or long it is. Cause,
That's what she said.
Damn it. I go back to my PS4 launch. The first game I booted up was Resogun. Right. And that's a small arcadey type title. So I think if you see a game that speaks to you, no matter how big or small, it's justified.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I'm such an easy lay on this as well, because like all I need is the Into the Spider-Verse suit. Right. Like, once you see that, you know I'm going to start crying. Like, that game got me out of the worst depression of my life. So like that, or the movie rather. So like, I'm just gonna bawl. But like, yeah, like that's all I need and to get in. Now, do you think that there's a possibility that this game also comes to the PlayStation 4 as well?
I do.
Yeah.
It's especially since it seems like it's a natural progression to the PS4 story. I can totally see it having a scaled down version, for lack of a better word, for PS4 owners.
Okay.
Can I add a little wrinkle into this?
Oh,
now
go
that I was
for it.
thinking
Yes.
about this Game Informer misunderstanding. What if, in order to get it out in a timely fashion, right? What if they know what is being presented in this state of play in the first week of August to get ahead of it, so that way that month's issue is not behind what the news that is already out there? So what if also in that issue they detail all the other announcements of the PS5 and we just haven't seen that yet?
I wouldn't put it past them because it's print journalism. Like, I wouldn't put it past them because we've seen that before. Like right now, actually, the Avengers thing. There's already a ton of information out like 5 minutes after the event, so we can assume that IGN had this a day or two beforehand, got to analyze it, do the bullet points, or Square gave them the bullet points to put out there as well. You also see that in print media as well when you're talking about obituaries of famous people or people running for president or people who might get picked for VP. You'll have people who are like, they'll be like, okay, so rest in peace Regis. But like that obituary, the first, like AP probably had that written years ago. So just have the snippet to be first out there. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that from like, you know, IG going, hey, bam, here's everything we know. I wouldn't expect it from them though. I would expect it from a GameSpot or an IGN, something that's internet based and not print media based. So like I would guarantee that IGN would have that right up for sure.
I would say that I would expect it from Game Informer because it is tied to GameStop, and they want to make sure that people go out there and go shop at their stores. I
think it would be if the PlayStation 5's the cover.
Who says it isn't? I
mean, that's right. Who knows?
So like,
whose hands have been shaken? You know,
I don't know.
That's a good.
Shuei's going around.
Dude, Shuei
is going around.
Yeah. That's a great point. Any last comments on this? Because I feel like at this point it's just like, you know, I don't want to make a video on it or like talk much further because in a week or two we're going to find out what everything is.
I hope so.
You know, like I wouldn't be surprised knowing PlayStation how they want to screw with us sometimes that we'll come out with the podcast the next day and be like, hey, state of play today. Exactly. Just to screw with a little bad bit.
That seems like the curse of any PlayStation podcast.
Yes.
It's always like after any podcast goes up, then the news happens. Like either immediately afterwards or within 12 hours.
Yeah.
I hope we know everything soon, but like when it comes to Miles Morales, the standalone game, no matter what you tell me about length of game, quality of game, I'm playing it.
Yeah.
I'm buying it. It's day one, no matter what.
Yeah.
So like,
no matter if there's a Craig the Brute that shows up,
I don't care.
Miles takes off the mask and it's actually just Craig the Brute.
Did I share this with you? But there was a image of someone put Craig the Brute with the Kratos tattoo.
That's what I was thinking when where's Kratos with Atreus, and Atreus' face was just Craig the Brute. Honestly, how stupid that outrage is, the memes have been worth it. And I do like that, like 343, a little bit of Xbox in here, have been playing around with it, like even named the meme. So like, good on them for like keeping it positive. But please, 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 next time you show that game, you gotta hit it out of the park. Same with Miles. With that, Kyle, let's get to the next story.
Friend of the show, Adam Bankhurst from IGN writes, Ghost of Tsushima is PS4's fastest-selling first-party original IP debut. Ghost of Tsushima has become PlayStation 4's fastest-selling first-party original IP debut with over 2.4 million units sold through globally. God, Kyle, words. In the first 3 days following its July 17th, 2020 release date. PlayStation's Twitter revealed the news, marking the milestone for Sucker Punch's first game since infamous Second Son and First Light. For comparison, Horizon Zero Dawn sold over 2.6 million units in its first 2 weeks of sale.
You could also, I put.
Oh, you want me to continue?
Yeah.
Okay.
We could.
In addition, this comes from Wesley LeBlanc from IGN. Ghost of Tsushima update brings new additional accessibility options to the game. An update for Ghost of Tsushima will bring a new lethal difficulty mode and more accessibility options for reading text and more forgiving combat intensity. This update, patch 1.05, brings a new lethal difficulty to the game and accessibility options that lower the intensity of the combat. The patch also brings some text changes to Ghost of Tsushima as well. Depending on when you're seeing this, the update available now. Quote, later today, patch 1.05 for hashtag Ghost of Tsushima will be released, adding new lethal difficulty, a new option for lower intensity combat, and new text settings, end quote. A tweet from Sucker Punch reads, new difficulty level, lethal. Enemy weapons are more deadly, but Jin's katana is also more deadly. Enemies are more aggressive in combat. Enemies detect you faster, and tighter parry and dodge windows. Lower intensity combat. Lower intensity mode is meant to maintain the heart and feel of Ghost of Tsushima combat while relaxing several timing-specific elements. Combat is less intense, giving you more time to react. Stealth settings are more forgiving, and enemies take longer to detect you. Text changes. Large text option increases text size of subtitles, mission objectives, and interact prompts by 150% when enabled. Added option to turn speaker name off when subtitles are enabled. New subtitle text color options in addition to white, yellow, blue, red, and green. That was very hard with you mocking samurai killing in the corner of my eye.
That was an intense fight, and I had to stab the invisible intruder twice.
From what I saw, that was tough.
Dude, I was doing little flips with my wrist and everything. Like, I was borderline like the what is it, like the real life Jedi guy. Have you ever seen that? Oh man. Okay. All that aside, fake ninjas aside, or samurai aside, this is awesome news for two reasons. So first, let's talk about the sales. 2.6 million units in 3 days. How?
2.4.
Oh, sorry, 2.4 in 3 days compared to Horizon Zero Dawn's 2.6 million in 2 weeks. Yeah. Also, the one that comes off the top of my head. How many days has it been since Bloodborne? I can't tell you right now because I'm in the middle of a vamp. But 2 million units, I believe, in 2 weeks. This is awesome news for Ghost, man.
I'm happy to be wrong. Because I think last week or before release, I didn't think it would sell as well as Horizon because I felt like not a lot of people dig samurais. I'm completely wrong. I'm happy that I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But this is awesome. I think also part of it is another new PlayStation exclusive while everyone is kind of in quarantine in the state of the world.
Let me ask you a question. You think this is going to have better legs than Horizon Zero Dawn?
Ooh.
Like, where do you see this falling at the end of the day? Like,
will it overtake Horizon in sales?
Yeah. Because Horizon's about, if I'm not mistaken, 10 or 11 million, right?
Yeah.
Just ballparking.
What if, man, I would say probably, strictly because if you buy a PS5 and if you can play this on your PS5 this holiday, I think that will drive more sales as well. I think Horizon might even get more of an uptick when Forbidden West comes closer. And you can play that on your PS5 too.
Yeah, I mean, I think for Ghost of Tsushima, I do think... Oh, I pronounced it right, and I didn't even have to think about it. Look at me.
Nice.
I think it's going to sell really well. I think this is a huge indicator for Sony that, like, people are thirsty for this type of experience. And also, it kind of speaks to the work that Sucker Punch has gone in, because if I'm not mistaken, they are one of the smallest studios Sony has, like less than 100 people. So it goes to show the level of commitment that they had to this game, and I love to see that work getting its due. At the same exact time, I don't know how it's going to sell, because there is that question mark, and I think it's why we haven't seen a state of play yet, is because they don't want to dampen like The Last of Us Part 2 or Ghost of Tsushima, because they want to, oh my god, second time, because they want to make sure like the first few weeks they get as much sales as possible before they ramp up the talk on PlayStation 5. So
yeah.
I think this game's going to do really well. I think this is a huge indicator that we're going to see more of Ghost of Tsushima really soon, as like probably their next game. And again, I want to see how this thing runs on PS5. If that super sampling rumor is right, because the game's already gosh dang beautiful.
Oh, beautiful. The load times are insane for an open world game. It's like it is that SSD, what I'm imagining fast, but probably even faster on PS5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the game is gorgeous. I can't wait to see what it would look like on a PS5. And have you checked out these options yet?
I have, actually. And Lethal doesn't play around. You will die really, really fast.
My question for you: can I fine tune that and only? Because like what I want to play on my difficulty that I'm on now, because combat is still challenging for me. Yeah. But I want to up the stealth. Will that let me fine tune me that yet or no?
No. So like, and this is where we get to what you've been playing. I love Ghost of Tsushima so freaking much. It is right now my game of the year. I'm having so much fun with it. It's one of the games where I wanted to play it again after I platinumed it. And I feel like this lethal mode is a great start, but I would rather like a new game plus where I could start with my armor and, start back from the beginning and unlock everything again. So unfortunately, it's not as their accessibility mode isn't as in depth as The Last of Us was. So you can't really fine tune stealth as much, but with lethal, it does make it so that stealth is the big option, the option you want to choose, especially when you get into late game. That's what you really want. So I can't wait to see people who have set this setting on, made a new chapter or a new file, started playing, and where they're going to be. Like seeing the clips of like Sushi Legend out there, like it's going to be amazing. Yeah. I do like the text changes, because like even with someone who doesn't have, not the best vision in the world, but like, isn't impaired that way. It is awesome to see them go, okay, yeah, like these texts need to be better, but unfortunately that isn't the case. Now we do have a question from a viewer, and you can send in your questions over at PS Trophy Room or the Casa de Bad Bit Discord server. This question comes in from Nagachaka, and they write in, I still haven't beaten Ghost of Tsushima yet, but loving it so far. That being said, it is missing 2 features. Does it track how many hours you've played, and there is no new game plus? Are these features important to you guys? How important is a game tracker to you, Kyle?
Weirdly enough, I've been wanting that more and more lately.
Same.
I think the last 2 big games I played, Last of Us Part 2 and Final Fantasy VII Remake, both have those in-game clocks. Yep. So I kind of like to see how much time I put into it, and so that way when we hop on here and people ask, oh, how far are you into this game, I can say an hour marker. Yeah. I think that's a cool feature, and I want that to be standard across everything.
Yeah,
I forget at least the big games. Like I don't need a indie game tracker.
Right. I forget who showed me this, but it was in a Twitch chat. You can have a tracker for your PSN.
Oh yeah,
it's called PS4 Tracker. It's a bot. You add it as a friend, and then you log into the website while you're offline. It'll track the games you're playing and how long you're playing them, but it won't go back in time. So, like, if I played Ghost of Tsushima, I wouldn't be. I wouldn't have like all the time I've garnered.
It'd be a new game.
It'd be a new game. So yeah, I think a new game tracker would be awesome for just any game. You could put it in any game. It's just cool because I would like to see the progress I've made. Not so much of like, Oh my god, I can't believe I put 45 hours in the Ghost. It's more like, oh, I put 45 hours in the Ghost. That's how long it took me. So that when we have these conversations of like, how long's the story? How long can I get like the meat of this game? I can give you guys a definitive answer rather than, I think it's about this much, you know?
Yeah, because if you were going to ask me right now what hour story I'm in, I have no idea because I've been cleaning up the map as I go down.
Yeah.
So, like, I've probably been doing more of that than story at this point.
I got so far into the clearing everything out that when I was at the final mission, or not even, like, when I was at the final act, I was already decked out and everything. Like, just maybe one focus and one or two, like, health things, but, like, I was...
Like I just got to Act 2, the beginning of it, and my katana is already at max. It's almost there. Mm-hmm. So like I feel like it's going to be a little broken for a little bit, but I'm sure they'll catch up to me by the time I progress through the story.
Perhaps. Now we will be doing a Road to Greatness once Kyle finishes Ghost of Tsushima. Mm-hmm. I'm super pumped. I can't wait to talk to you about all the things, Kyle. All the gosh dang things. That said, one more bit is with Nagachaka's question here. Nagachaka. New Game Plus. Is it important to you?
I'm not like pining for New Game Plus.
Okay.
If it's there, great. Yeah. But I let's see, the last one I did was Final Fantasy VII Remake. Mm-hmm. And Last of Us Part 2, but that was necessary for Platinums. Right. But I don't find myself thinking, you know what, I'm going to start a New Game Plus for God of War. Right. Like, I'm not, it's not itching at me to like, all right, I want to play this game on harder difficulties.
Right. It's not like a Bloodborne situation where I was on New Game Plus.
Does it keep adding the pluses?
No, but like people like when you're on the Reddit like thing, like instead of going New Game Plus and then like maybe with a little 5 so they know, they'll actually type out plus. Oh my god. And I'm like, we so get sorry it, dude. For the noise. Oh, don't worry about it. They're in the room. They're upstairs. But with that, Kyle, here's the next story on the board for us. What's wrong? Oh, you're just mad.
You're so loud.
Yeah. It's quarantine, man. People understand. Even if, like, listen, podcasters, okay, people listening in your cars, we're all living with each other. We're like, it's been 5 months. And if you can't understand, you know, what's going on, I'm sorry. But life happens, okay? My mother yells down the stairs all the time. You know, it's just something we got to get through, you know? They should be in school. That's what it is, Kyle. We should just open the schools up.
No! As a teacher, no.
Well, with that though, like if it's a New Game Plus, instead of just moving on to the next story, For me, there's certain games like Bloodborne. This I would have loved one, but I think you're right as well. Like I'm not pining for it for every game. And also, if you're a developer, I was actually listening to Watch Play Listen, and oh my God, John Bithell was talking about. Mike Bithell, thank you. He was talking about, dude, it's already hard enough to get people to beat your games, rather than making them, you know, play it again. So I don't think it's on the tops of every developer's minds, but it is on some, and I think those games, it does matter.
Honestly, I think that's one cool thing about trophies is if it's tied to a trophy, and if I love your game that much, I absolutely am going to take the time to hop into New Game Plus. Yeah. I'm not saying every game needs it, but I think it's a nice option to have.
Yeah. Yeah. With that, Kyle, let's talk about the next story on the list, and it's pretty awesome.
Aaron Garst from GameSpot writes, Cuphead is out now on PS4. Cuphead, the fight against the devil side-scroller that made waves in 2017, is finally launching on PS4 today. Studio MDHR announced the news in an interview during the Summer Games Fest. Cuphead will be available on the PlayStation Store for $20. Cuphead launched as an Xbox One and PC exclusive after Microsoft partially funded the development by Canada-based studio MDHR. It's since launched on both Nintendo Switch and Tesla's suite of electric vehicles. PlayStation fans have been clamoring for a release since the game originally launched. A new DLC dubbed The Delicious Last Course was announced in 2018 and then delayed to 2020. Studio MHDR released a 30-second teaser trailer showing off some new features that are coming with the DLC, including playable character Miss Chalice and her double jump, abilities to acquire and enemies to slaughter, and levels and environments ripe for exploration. The studio said it would have more to say about the DLC in the coming months to all platforms.
On day one as well. So when the delicious last course comes out, it will be same day PS5 at this point, or sorry, PlayStation platform, Xbox platform, Nintendo platform. There you go, we're at that point. So on the same day, which is pretty awesome. And to see this game come to PlayStation, my question to you, are you a bit surprised? Because everybody kind of thought that Microsoft owned the IP, but it's MDHR's completely. So are you surprised that it came?
Kind of.
Okay.
This is going to be a weird reasoning, but the fact that it came to Tesla cars before PlayStation is a thing. Like, I never expected it to come to PlayStation because cars got it first.
I mean, Elon Musk money, you know? And also, that's not the... I mean, you don't want to play any game while you're driving.
No.
You know, only when you're watching the show. You can watch a show while you're driving. It's fine. Don't actually do that. That's a joke, please. I'm not liable. I just said don't do it, okay? But, like, that's the... Like, if I'm parked in a car, that's going to give me road rage when I'm on the road.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's just something for Elon to stroke his you know, his ego at, you know? His ego's gone way too far. But with that said, yeah, I kind of just, like, thought for a while, I was just like, well, they must have some type of exclusive deal that, like, you know, since Microsoft partially funded it, that maybe they gotta, like, go, hello, hi, we'd like to put, you know, our game this there in the other place. But it's cool to see that it comes to PlayStation, and now with the TV show, it kind of does make perfect sense that you want this game on as many places as possible when you have a Netflix TV show, and they're gonna have a Netflix TV show. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm super pumped. Are you gonna double dip? Because I believe you said you bought this game on Switch, right?
Yes, I have it on Switch. I'm not sure if I'm going to double dip on PlayStation.
Okay.
I like the feeling of playing it on the Switch. I think that's like the perfect place for it. So probably not, but it's cool that it's there.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's awesome to see people on PlayStation getting to experience this game for the first time, or even people going, I love these guys so much, I am buying it again. You know, like that's awesome to see that there's so much love for this developer. So again, go out there, go buy Cuphead. It is fan-freaking-tastic. With that, Kyle, let's get to, well, actually, should we prepare the drop right here?
Sure, yeah.
Prepare the drop. There has been 2 new games hitting PlayStation Plus for the month of August. The first game, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Campaign Remastered. And the second game, Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout.
Yes!
Kyle, could you please read the description of Fall Guys?
Survive a series of hilarious challenges until one victor remains in this colorful 60-person online multiplayer party game. Test your mettle in brutal free-for-alls or co-op challenges where only the winning team advances to the next round. Bend, bounce, and bash your way through hilarious physics-based obstacles, from smashing through doors to balancing on massive seesaws to racing up mountains riddled with traps. Add a touch of style to your Fall Guy by customizing them with everything from classy pineapple couture to flattering prehistoric fashion. And then Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Campaign Remastered. Alright, you know what it is. It's fine.
No Russian or no Fall Guy. With that, Kyle, listen, I got a question for you. Fall Guys. What is this game? Because everybody in the Discord wants to make like a play date out of this when this game comes out. Because this is similar to Rocket League. It's launching on the 4th. It is going to be available on PlayStation Plus on the 4th as well.
Yeah.
So, tell me what this game is, because you've been playing it even before the show. You're like, Joe, I gotta play Fall Guys before.
Because they sneakily, a shout out to Fall Guys game on Twitter, the official Twitter account, because they're like, we totally didn't open up the servers for the next hour and a half, so please don't tweet this out. Don't let anybody know. And then we hopped on thinking it was like an internal test, because I think that was in the tweet. It's an internal test. And no, everyone can play. So it's like, okay, no, I got to get it in. I have that itch for it. So like, this does a decent job of explaining what this game is. It is 60 people. It is like one of those TV shows like MXC back in the day and Wipeout and today with these obstacle courses and stuff. And it's like 60 people enter, one only wins. People get eliminated every single round. It is a cool, very easy to play
like obstacle
platformer battle royale where it's just a button to jump, a button to dive, and then a button to grab people or grab ledges and grab things that you need to interact with for certain mini games.
Yeah.
This game is so addicting.
Yeah.
It is so much fun. The costumes are amazing.
They're all so cute and adorable.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here, Joe.
Oh shit! Okay.
This game is going to be huge and might even be bigger than Rocket League.
Whoa.
For the simple fact, Rocket League
sucks.
It does not suck.
I'm only kidding, Robbie.
I love Rocket League. Rocket League takes... This is going to sound like a disservice to Fall Guys, and I don't mean this at all. Rocket League takes a lot of skill. There's a lot of button presses, a lot of techniques and stuff you need to do. This one is just like, if you fall down, you better try to get up and jump and like... It is so accessible to everybody to play. It's 3 buttons. The left joystick moves.
This is like a good play with your kids, play with your family.
Absolutely. If you fail, you fail hilariously. You enjoy when you fail. Sometimes when you fail, it helps you out. Like there's ones with spinning rotors. And I missed a jump. I tripped over it, but then it came around and it flung me forward ahead of 20 people. So sometimes it helps you, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
It is all about just having fun. And when you do get eliminated, you want to keep watching to see
who makes
how they do. Yeah.
It's kind of like that marble game I see on Twitch as well, where you see people get eliminated, but for some reason your eyes are just addicted to this marble going down the cylinder.
This game is going to be huge.
Okay.
It's massive.
I would hate to argue with you because seeing the Twitch numbers, it topped Fortnite at a certain point.
It was number 2 behind Just Chatting over the weekend.
And their Twitter account was on fire that entire weekend.
Yeah, it was.
You could totally see the personality behind that social media account. God bless you. You're doing shoes work. But yeah, I'm super pumped. This comes out again August 4th?
August 4th.
So that is what? Is that a Friday?
Tuesday.
So what if we do on August 7th? Maybe, I don't know.
August 7th is another big day. We'll get into in a second.
Why is that? Oh, Avengers beta. Shoot. We got so many things to do then.
Yeah, next week is going to be crazy. If the State of Play happens, it's going to be a big week for PlayStation.
Okay. How about on the 6th, a Thursday night?
Okay.
Thursday night game night.
Hell yeah.
Trophy room, come over. We're going to play together. I know, right now, you can't do custom games, right? It's only 4.
You can't. So what you can do is you can have teams of up to 4. So you can go into a tournament, which is what they call their matches, with up to 4 friends.
Okay.
But it's still free for all. If you go in as a team, if they're team-based minigames, you'll be on the same team. But when it comes to the end... I'm going to try to knock you off the edge, Joe. Okay. I'm just telling you that right now.
I'm not going to... You know me with platformers. I'm not getting anywhere.
I did get a win over the weekend during the beta, and I immediately shouted out, is this what it feels like to win a Battle Royale? Is this what Joe feels like in Apex and Fortnite?
Yeah.
I like this feeling.
I know. Isn't it good?
I'll go pro in Fall Guys. Don't test me.
Esports teams, they'll be begging for you, dude. So, okay, Thursday... that's August 6th. We're going to have a little Fall Guys stream, community game night. Yeah. We'll be taking turns. We'll alternate. How about that?
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense. And then, so anybody join the Casa de Bad Bit Discord server, and this sounds like fun to you, I'll have a little game night out of it. It's going to be nice. Yeah. We'll, again, twitch.com/badbit, I believe. So
Twitch.tv.
Oh, sorry. Twitch.tv. Shows you how good of a streamer I am. I'll send you to the wrong
Twitch.com
URL.
brings you back to the old HTML JavaScript pages like MySpace.
Yeah.
With the rotating images.
What was your song?
On MySpace?
Yeah.
Oh, God. I don't even... It was so long ago. Probably Linkin Park.
Yeah, I was thinking minutes to midnight.
Right?
Just bleed it out because that's what I'm feeling right now. It's my soul.
I'm feeling it.
Yeah. I also remember I had like an Obama like hope background, you know? Simpler times back then.
God, remember top 10 list of friends?
Oh no, it was
top
8.
10 friends.
Wasn't it 8?
8. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you're like that was a fucking debacle.
It was a big deal if I cracked into someone's top 8.
Oh my god, dude! It was like I'd be like, listen, no offense, you're my 9th. Like, listen, I put James at 8 because if he's not there, he's gonna freak. Okay, Tommy, you know what I mean?
I'm the opposite. Like, I'll totally go in the snack line and get you some cheddar sour cream chips. You just let me know if you can guarantee me a space in your top 5. Those chips are yours.
Yep.
Just saying.
My personal worth is tied to my space relevancy. I need this.
I need it bad.
I need this more than the world. I can go get you that famous Amos cookie right now. All right.
Yo, you want extra milk? I'll grab an extra milk.
With that, actually, before we get into the next line, the next question, famous Seamus, the most famous Seamus I've ever met, actually does write in. So the PlayStation Plus games were announced, Fall Guys and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. What are your thoughts on this month's lineup? I actually think this is a really good lineup, and depending on how Fall Guys does, I think this might be one of their bigger ones.
I agree, and I think it's a smart choice to have 2 completely different games to bring in a wide version or wide group of gamers in to be like, hey, if you're missing out on PS Plus, you get. I don't remember the campaign of Modern Warfare 2, but like a historic campaign in first-person shooters, as well as like this unique,
colorful,
multiplayer, beautiful cute thing. Like,
you get death and destruction and World War. You already get that enough here, and then like you can have this colorful, beautiful little kiddie game. It's gonna be great. Like, I love it. Also, is that a Simba shirt? That's Simba, right?
This is a Lion King based shirt, but if you played Remake, it's Red 13. From Final Fantasy 7.
Oh.
So yeah.
All right, I was gonna give it a compliment, but now I don't know.
Wow.
Only kidding. I loved Red 13.
Okay, I was about to say.
Kyle, let's talk about the last story on the list. This is actually technically the
breaking news.
Yeah.
Breaking news. Matt Purslow from IGN writes, Marvel's Avengers beta details revealed. Heroes, mission types, and progression. Square Enix and Crystal Dynamics have revealed new details about the upcoming Marvel's Avengers beta, including what mission types and characters will be available to play and how progress will be offered. The beta, which takes place throughout August, will contain 4 heroes: Iron Man, Hulk, Black Widow, and Ms. Marvel. These can all be played in the co-op segments of the beta, but you'll actually be able to get a taste of Thor and a Captain America too as the beta opens on the Golden Gate Bridge prologue mission, as seen at E3 and Gamescom in 2019. After the 25-minute prologue, you'll have access to the wartable, and will be able to play through 2 single-player missions, featuring Hulk and Ms. Marvel. The first sees them travel to the Pacific Northwest in search of the Olympia Archive and Jarvis, while the second relocates them to Russia to uncover S.H.I.E.L.D. secrets hidden deep underground. One of these missions also includes a boss fight with Abomination. After completing the single-player content, the beta opens up and allows players to tackle a variety of other activities in co-op, or solo with AI if preferred. These are split into 3 mission types: harm rooms, war zones, and drop zones. Depending on the activity, these can take between 10 minutes and 2 hours. War zones are the dungeon-like missions of Marvel's Avengers, and there are 5 available to play in the beta. The individual locations and objectives were not revealed as part of the wartable stream, but we do know that you'll face both robotic and human foes. War zones also include bunkers that contain loot and collectible comics, and players must solve puzzles to get inside. Finally, the beta will also feature an unspecified amount of drop zones, which are among the game's shorter, most focused mission types.
So we saw this War Table stream just an hour ago as of recording. Kyle, what are your thoughts on Marvel Avengers now that we got to see even more gameplay? Like during when they were talking, that's all they were showing. They were showing people's reactions to the original War Table. Yeah. What were your thoughts walking out? Like I know you were hyped for this game walking in, right? But now where are you after seeing this Warzone?
Yeah,
or War Table?
Before this one, I think collectively amongst everybody that does video game stuff, I'm on the higher end of being hyper than most. Walking away from this, I was even more hype. What I wanted to see from this War Table, I got. I wanted to see more varied locations and environments and ways to make it look visually fresh, and I definitely got that. I saw some cool tag team moves that were going on. I liked what they were putting down.
Yeah, I don't know what I can't really name it. Like, oh, that was the part. I think the closest was seeing Iron Man's ultimate ability, which is the Hulkbuster suit, which was just like, all right, I'm in. But the action just seemed. It just seemed a lot better than what we've seen. It seemed better than
the Thor stuff.
Yeah, a lot better. And maybe just like it comes down to. Yeah, maybe just Thor isn't the type of gameplay I want. Like seeing Hulk and seeing Camilla like kick ass was awesome. And then at the very end, they teased Hawkeye, which seems like that's right up my alley because I love a good bow and arrow.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so like there was just something about this that spoke to me a lot more. Where like yesterday I put out like the top 4 games that I'm excited to play this holiday, and I forgot about Avengers. And like Luke was just like, "Yo, dude. You forgot this game."
Yeah.
But for me, it's just I was, I think, with everybody else kind of lower on the spectrum. Like I'm gonna buy it because it's Avengers and I love superheroes, but it's a 7-ass game. But now seeing it, this looks a lot more promising, and seeing what's in the beta alone, there's just tons.
A lot. I won't lie, I'm a little disappointed that I have to play through the Golden Gate Bridge section again that I did at Comic-Con last year.
Okay.
In another way, though, like it'll be good to play to see how it compared to what I played last year, to see if everything feels approved. Specifically, Iron Man flying, I didn't really like it at Comic-Con, so I'm hoping that's a little bit tighter.
Right.
And
it did look like Iron Man's flying straight out of Anthem, which that was the only part of Anthem I liked. So
yeah, I think the one detail in here that has me extremely excited as a mostly solo player person was they confirmed that if you play co-op and whatever, and you're or solo missions by yourself, your co-op heroes that come along with you, controlled by the AI, are your versions of these characters.
Yes.
So like, it's not like if I'm going in playing as Hulk on a Hulk mission, and Miss Marvel is with me. It's not some generic Miss Marvel that doesn't have that super cool ability that I unlocked that took hours to get. It is my Miss Marvel.
Yeah,
she'll play my Iron Man by my side. Like that is so cool, and I love that detail.
Yeah, and I think it's a little detail that goes a long way, because not only are they playing the way that you've set them to, but they also look the way you want them to. So you can have the 1930s Hulk, Mafia Hulk. You can have that, like the different like black and gold armor.
The Miss Marvel with the fast food drink. Just sipping.
That's super cool. So it looks like maybe that was what it is. It added a little bit more personality to this game that I think definitely benefited, where you get to make your experience and play the way you want, because you can play with your friends or play solo.
Many another thing this War Table did great was show off all the different looks that your heroes can have.
Yeah. Like
I think I counted in my head, Black Widow I think had 6 different costumes during this one War Table, which was like 15-20 minutes long.
Yeah.
And like seeing the differences, and they're really emphasizing your heroes the way you want them. and I'm all for that.
Yeah.
It looks great. I cannot wait for next Friday for the beta, and then it's like 3 weeks. I think we get to play in the beta world before release, and then the game's out. Like hell yeah.
Okay, so next week as well. So we got the 6th.
We did promise this already.
Yeah,
we were going to stream together.
Yeah. So Friday the 7th, maybe like in the afternoon. You think that do like,
afternoon would work,
like noon one? We'll work on the time on that one. We'll work out both times. Make sure you're following us, PS Trophy Room. Make sure you're in the Casa de Babbitt Discord server, and to get all them details. Can't wait to see y'all. But yeah, Kyle, when this game comes out for realsies, I really walked away going, okay, I think this is my games of service game. Like, yeah,
absolutely.
So that means we're gonna be playing with each other on the reg.
I would like to.
Okay. You hear that here, folks? He's making a promise. He's making a promise. Okay. With that, any last thoughts on Marvel's Avengers? We're coming out. We're super hyped for it.
Not a last thought. I have a question though.
Ooh, okay.
At the end of that, they showcased Hawkeye as a hero. Yeah. But then they had 3 mysterious slots still available for what we guess is year 1 of Avengers. Which, by the way, in case you haven't heard of our coverage on the game or the coverage in general, all additional heroes are free at cost. No additional purchase is necessary. You're gonna get all the new heroes when they come out.
Yeah, and new content.
And new content. Yeah, there were 3 empty slots for heroes. Who do you want to take that 3 slots up?
So does Hawkeye count as one of those 3?
Hawkeye is the 4th out of the 4 that were there.
Okay, so there's 3. I definitely think we're gonna get a Spider-Man. Because I want it, and I think that's gonna be a PlayStation exclusive thing, or at least a suit, and it's gonna be a controversy. But I don't care. Suck it. I think the next that would be cool, and I don't think maybe even. Actually, I'm looking at it. It's an awfully white list, right? Camilla is the only person of color there. Mm-hmm. So let's put Black Panther in there.
That was one of mine.
Yeah.
For sure.
And so we got Black Panther, Spider-Man. Who else would I want to see? I don't know. Name off some of yours before I
all right. Well, Black Panther for sure. Mm-hmm. That would be my top pick. Captain Marvel would be number 2. And then I'm going out of left field here.
Okay.
Give me that schnick, baby. Wolverine.
Oh.
Because they're back in the family.
Yeah.
Either that or Mr. Fantastic.
Papa would love that. Yeah. See, I was thinking Wolverine, but I'm like, do we already branch off, you know what I mean? Like from the basic line of heroes?
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be super cool.
I mean, Doctor Strange is another one that would be cool too.
I think that would give another ranged character or more like magic ability character.
Can you imagine a multiverse world that you can go in for missions and stuff?
You got me on Doctor Strange, I'm in.
And I just, while thinking of the characters, thought of a comparison as to why I'm so hyped for this.
What's that?
This is a huge leap of what... oh god, it just left me. Oh my god.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Think. You have this. No pressure. Take all the time you need.
No, it's gone. No. The third one was just on Switch.
The third... Ultimate Alliance.
Thank you. This is the next version of Ultimate Alliance from my PS2 days.
Okay.
Like, this seems like such a cool new version of that game.
Yeah.
Everyone's heroes are different. There's levels. You unlock abilities. Yeah.
God, Ultimate Alliance, such a good game.
Why couldn't I not think of that? I was thinking X-Men Legends. Like, no, that's the X-Men version. But what is the Marvel
That's clearly not as good, yeah. Listen, we got to the last segment, all right? Round of applause. It's been a good week here on the PlayStation Trophy a PlayStation podcast, okay? Now we get to my favorite segment.
God, Andrew, can you imagine if we're officially endorsed by PlayStation and we become PlayStation's the trophy room?
Yeah, I know, right?
Just saying.
PlayStation's trophy room. Andrew House's snail mail. Now, each and every week you can send your questions into the show via Twitter at PS Trophy Room, via the Casa de Babbitt Discord server. I let everybody know last night, hey, listen, we're recording a little earlier midday because I'll be on the Xbox Empire and I'll be invading. I'll be actually invading. It's going to be pretty nuts. We're going to claim some land for good old, Herman Holst. Anyway.
Make sure you wear the ghost mask.
Oh, I have it behind me. That's why I have it.
There you go.
My foes will never see me coming. Or you can, just pen a letter to Andrew House. I'll skip on over there. Maybe I'll swim. Who knows? Maybe I'll fly. You can flap your arms fast enough. You'll gain some type of levitation. I go over there. I steal his mail.
Sling ring over?
Yeah.
Like Doctor Strange?
Exactly. On your left, Andy. What? And I just snatched the mail. And let me tell you guys something. I know it's going to be a good week when we get questions like this. It's always going to be a good week when there's questions for the topics at hand as well. It's always kind of making the show ours and not just mine. That's how I always like to think of it. So, thank you all for the amazing questions this week. The first question comes from, it's just Ray. He asks, how terrible are Gabe Newell's recent comments? Angry face. Did you see this, Kyle? Did you see this?
So,
have you heard of this?
I see the picture of just the back of his head, like sitting at the table. And didn't he say like Xbox Series X is the thing he thinks is better than everything else?
Yeah, and if he had to pick a console,
sure.
I think he was on like some type of like bullshit, like Sinclair owned news network. So he's just like, yeah, if I had to pick, it's gonna be, Xbox is more powerful, this, that, the other thing.
Sure. Shut up, Gabe.
If you know what's good for you, Gabe.
Go make Half-Life 3 and Portal 3 and Left 4 Dead 3. What are you doing?
Exactly, right?
Make a third game, Gabe.
Talk so much shit, but you can't you're scared of the number 3?
Hey, how'd those Steam boxes go, Gabe?
Yeah.
How'd those go?
How did the Steam controller do, huh? You stupid dummy.
I bet you those same controllers that were in stock when I worked at GameStop are still sitting in that back room.
Dude, they sold them for $5. Steam Link? Sold out for $5. Yeah.
Oh.
Honestly, I don't care. Like, they didn't.
No, I don't care either.
Though it's hilarious to see so many people like visibly upset. I'm like, dude, this is the guy that like, crapped on PS3, and then 3 years later you saw him on the stage praising,
yeah,
and bringing Steam to PS3. You
yeah,
saw how
we got the
went.
orange box.
Yeah. So like it doesn't matter what he says. I mean, it's whatever.
I'm not affected in any way by Gabe Newell's comments.
But for you, Ray, I'll say that he's a meanie weenie, and he's not invited to our little community game nights. That's right. No. He was gonna be in our Fall Guys stream. Nuh-uh. He's uninvited.
Could you imagine? Just me, you, Ray, and Gabe playing Fall Guys. And then we each just go around Gabe and just grab him and hold him back so he can't compete the whole game.
Ray keeps pushing me. Joe, can you tell Ray?
Fair.
Can someone get me a Diet Coke?
I'm going to play an Xbox Series X. It's not fair.
Yeah, I hate this game. It's not fair. I don't even know that's how it talks. Oh, man. With that, let's get to the next question. Gavs Goody writes in, finally, thought of a question. Hey, Gav, take your time. Don't worry. Don't rush it. Don't rush it. Get all the time in the world.
Thinking hurts sometimes.
Yeah.
Don't hurt yourself.
Thinking so hard. I hate doing it. Yeah. What is the most fun and or most rewarding trophy you've ever gotten? For me, I'm going with Ratchet & Clank on PS4 for most fun, and most rewarding would probably go to Arkham Knight. Arkham Knight, good on you, dude, because those Riddler trophies, right? Those are the worst type of trophies, if I could be real with you. Yeah,
I mean, I also have the Arkham Knight Platinum, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, those trophies sometimes, the Riddler trophy things are sometimes really hard. Especially, I think Arkham Knight had the do every single combat move in one combo.
Mm-hmm.
And I distinctly remember sitting down here with the TV where it is behind me now, with a list, like a loose leaf paper, on the side of the TV, plastered on the wall, with the steps of the combo of what moves I had to hit in an order, and I would erase it and rewrite a new order until I got into that flow.
Oh my
so
God.
Like that took me a long time.
Yeah.
So that one is a good one to point out.
For me, most rewarding is Bloodborne because it's my game, right? Yeah. Even like and going for like years knowing I can do it, but just not going for it for some reason, or just making one mistake along the way and going, I'll just get the ending I want. But To me, Bloodborne's my most rewarding. Most fun, I'm going to say it. Ghost of Tsushima's platinum is just a lot of fun. It's like go out there, do cool shit. All right, awesome. Yeah. It's just like clear the map. It's such an easy platinum to get, and at the same exact time, you're having fun with it as well. So I say for me, Ghost of Tsushima, because there was never a part where going, because you get to a part in the trophy list, you're like, oh, that's the one I'm gonna dread. Yeah, that one's gonna suck. Never that with Ghost. So
yeah I think the most fun for me, because this year I've been on a streak of like really rewarding platinum so far, but most fun for me I think would have to be the Lost Legacy. I think was the last one I had a real fun time with. Yes, you have the crushing difficulty thing, but it's not bad at like if you enable the cheats and whatnot.
Yeah, thank God you could enable those cheats. Yeah. Also, shout out to The Last of Us Part 2 trophy list for not being awful. Oh, man.
It's fantastic.
Thank God.
Speaking of Last of Us, my most rewarding is the first one.
Yeah.
That I got before Part 2 came out. Not even just the Platinum. Like, I 100%ed that. I did Grounded and Grounded Plus back to back. That was the most rewarding Platinum I've ever popped. Beating Resogun's Platinum. Because that one was hard, too. It took me a long time.
And just knowing you have to go through that emotional journey again. Did you like skip the trophy, or skip the cutscenes when you got the?
On Grounded Plus, yeah, I did. I watched the ones that I wanted to rewatch again.
Same, yeah.
But yeah.
Marcus O'Neill writes in, what makes the perfect open world game for you? Babbitt actually addressed this a little in his recent appearance on Why Are You a Gamer? Go listen if you haven't already. Thank you, Marcus, for putting that plug in. And I didn't even have to do that. Yeah,
I have an episode on that show too, so go check out both of ours.
Bam, done and done. I have always thought that open world games were my jam, but had somewhat of an epiphany last week. While some of my favorites this generation have been indeed been open world, Red Dead 2, Spider-Man, Horizon, Witcher 3, even more leave me with a meh feeling. Jedi Fallen Order, Far Cry 5, AC Odyssey, sorry Joe.
Far Cry 5?
Don't worry.
Are you a time traveler, Marcus?
All right, he means
4.
4. Is it? No, he's right, because Far Cry 6 is the latest one.
Oh my God, you're right. You're right.
Dying Light, Infamous Second Son, none of these games were objectively bad. I've been trying to figure out what made me connect strongly with some of them, but not others. Upon my reflection, I need a really compelling main narrative, fun and engaging traversal, and there can't be too many essential quote-unquote side quests. If any, or some of these criteria aren't met, I find I get burnt out trying to do everything. So, that's my perfect open world game. What makes the perfect open world game for you? Kyle, I'm going to go for you first on this one. What's the perfect open world game?
Man. I'm going to try not to stay in the moment, because Ghost is pretty damn near perfect.
Yeah.
But you brought up a good one in your favorites of this past generation. Horizon is up there for me as like a perfect open world. Mm-hmm. A 100% could be done better when it comes to the side quests, because the things that bog me down in open world games when it comes to side quests is where the side quests all just start feeling the same.
Yes, and I think
doing the same thing.
It does that as well, a little bit as well.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. But there's still like different things that you're finding in the world.
Sure.
But yeah, I think Horizon is up there as it comes to open worlds. Days Gone had a lot of potential, but a lot of that side quest stuff felt samey.
Yeah, and I think to hit what I think you're alluding to is like, yeah, side quests can't be,
I'm not gonna fetch everything every single time.
Not just like a fetch quest, but like they have to put meaning behind it. So, talking about Witcher 3, why that game? So let's start first. The open world has to feel lived in, and how you make it feel lived in is you have to have compelling stories in that world that are fleshed out. So when you're talking about Witcher 3, there's a lot of side quests, but there's not too many of them. Where you get to some open world games like Days Gone, where you're just like, okay, the map's covered, and it just feels a little bit overwhelming. Where you get to a game like Witcher 3,
Uh-huh.
and you have this like personal story attached to the quests. Even if you're fetching something, you feel like there's a sense of importance to that because the characters you're interacting are so interesting.
I would even go as far to say that while I love Spider-Man, a lot of that stuff in that open world was just the same thing on repeat.
Yeah.
Which kind of hurt my, now that I'm looking back on it, like that is not a good way of doing it.
Right.
But yeah, Witcher 3, I think it's going to be hard for any game that is not developed by somebody that's not Cyber or CD Projekt Red.
Yeah.
To nail it as perfectly as they do.
And I think like the ones that you list here, Marcus, they're all great for their own unique reason. Like,
yes.
First off, they all feel lived in. But like when you talk about Witcher 3, it's the stories that really compel you to that world.
Yeah.
When you take a look at Red Dead 2, it's the randomness of that world, the along the way sidetracks, right? Like when I was during the night riding my horse in Red Dead 2, one of the coolest things I saw was in the forest a light, and I walked closer to that light. It was a burning cross. It was a Ku Klux Klan meeting. And ironically, they were totally fine to wear those masks. They breathed perfectly well until I just started shooting all of them. Because that's how you deal with them. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, like, that's cool because I was like, holy shit, I got to kill outright racists in a forest. And then right after I was done there, and I got attacked by an alligator. Like, there was always something to do, whether it was on purpose or not. Right? Yeah. And then when you get to like Horizon and Spider-Man, those are really cathartic, clearing out those maps. Like the things to do when it comes to Spider-Man, though, like you're always chasing a goddamn pigeon, it seems. Yeah, you get stopped by stopping criminals, but you're also doing things that involve traversal, which that game is so great at. In Horizon Zero Dawn, you get those side missions that are kind of but there's always a big beast in your way that you need to fight. Mm-hmm. So I think you named really good open world games. I would say a step further, and I know I'm getting ahead of myself, I'm sorry, but like Ghost does that too. They give me, for the most part, storylines I care about, not done as well as Witcher 3, because again, Witcher 3 is just on that level, but like they give me things that get me sidetracked where it's a fox den or a bird that's leading me to somewhere, or a mongrel camp, or a bunch of bandits to fight. Like they give me a mixture of all that while looking super pretty. So like that's what really makes a terrific open world. But yeah,
I'm trying to think of any other open world games that I've really fully on enjoyed. That isn't just an Assassin's Creed, because Assassin's Creed is, you know what, Watch Dogs 2 is pretty great.
Yeah,
that's a pretty great open world and very well put together San Francisco.
Yeah,
like it is like really well done, the amount of detail and stuff that they put into that. So Ubi's another one when it comes to open world and realizing the world. I think they're top tier.
Just like treating their employees, not so much. When it comes to AC Odyssey, though, I do get you there. That world is a little bit like too big. Like there's a little bit too much going on, and you could get a little lost or overwhelmed. So I totally get that. Yeah. But yeah, that's a terrific open world. You got to make it lived in. And how do you do that? It's like quest design, storytelling.
Yeah. If I go save somebody, when I come back to town, I want them to notice me.
Yeah.
I want to see them walk around town. Like I think that's, again, Witcher 3 next level. Mm-hmm. From my small time with Witcher 3.
Yeah.
It's still like that stuff is awesome.
And also like the scripting has to be there, what you just said. Like when you walk by a character you just helped, they should be like, oh shit, that's Jin Sakai, holy crap. Like like it shouldn't be like you could walk past the same camp sometimes and be like, hey, what's going on? Like they don't have another line for you, you know?
Either that or then they're just gone.
Yeah.
Like you don't see that character model ever again.
Yeah. Nathan writes in, I'm sitting on a restaurant patio having dinner, hopefully socially distancing. I trust you, hopefully. Nathan. Moves like Jagger is on. Which PlayStation mascot has the moves like Jagger? Should there be a dance-off? Are we off base in waiting for a PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale? But really, it should be asking for a PlayStation Dance All-Stars.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Like, God, what was that name? That game back in the day, Bust a Groove.
Bust a Groove.
That you didn't need the dance pad for, but you had to time it on the D-pad.
Yeah. Parappa comes to mind.
Yeah. I'm thinking Nathan Drake.
I was also thinking Nathan Drake because of the GIF, right?
The GIF, yeah, and like in the multiplayer on Uncharted 4, there's a bunch of dance moves of him like twerking and whatnot. Yeah. I think so, but I think a sneaky pick. Mm-hmm. I think as serious as he is all the time, I think Kratos can get down.
No, I was thinking Kratos is like what's his face?
He's a really, really good crumper.
Really?
Yeah.
Because when I think of Kratos, I think of Drax and like the line where he met his wife. She's like, they were dancing in the middle of town. She didn't move an inch. That's when I knew I loved her, or something along those lines. I can picture that. It's like being stoic as possible. He's the guy in the corner not dancing. And he doesn't even want to be there, you know? Famous Seamus.
Sackboy too.
Ooh, Sackboy.
Right? Sackboy?
Okay, I could get down on Sackboy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he'd be like happy and jolly. It'd be cute.
Yeah.
I'd be digging that, yeah. Famous Seamus ends the show with this question. Xbox recently had a special event, not just a showcase, where they released demos that were originally going to be shown at conventions. But, well, you know what happened. Yeah, I know. My question is, do you think PlayStation should do a similar event like Microsoft, and what games would you like to see at this event? Of course, PlayStation games. But more than that, what type of would you like to see this event, Kyle? And what type of games would you like to see? Of course, being on the PlayStation platform.
Absolutely. I think they should, and I think they will. Now that Shu is in charge of indies, I think absolutely we'll see this down the line. What kind of games? I want to see a decent amount of every kind of genre. Like I played a bunch of the Xbox demos that were on the Summer Game Fest during that week, and there was a thing for everybody. There were RPGs, there were retro skateboarding games, there were cool endless runner type things. Like, do you remember that game Race the Sun?
No.
Okay, Race the Sun is like you're in this little ship and you're just things scrolling by and you have to get as far as you can for a high score.
Okay.
There's things like that. There were platformers, multiplayer games. There was every single type of thing that they had there. So, like, yeah, I think this is the 100th thing PlayStation should do. I think it's a smart thing to do. I just don't know when that would be.
Yeah. I think it has to be after COVID time, and I do think whenever, you know, the Azure server deal goes through where they have a more robust infrastructure to handle something like that, because though I believe Xbox can do it, that is something that I do give a little stick or like cross, where PlayStation Network still isn't as good as Xbox Live in certain aspects. I do think that's one of them, where, you know, we couldn't change our name for 3 years, so how are they going to magically, you know, evaporate demos off your console? You know what I mean? So that's something that they would have to take in or to consider. But I definitely think these type of demos and events are here to stay. And I do hope that we see, like a wide variety of games that we're able to check out, try out. And I think indie devs would love that. They would love that spotlight, that type of curation for them as well. So, excellent question, Famous. Yeah, absolutely. PlayStation should, and I probably think will do this.
You think around Game Awards?
No, I'm thinking like a year out. They're gonna start doing things. Once Shu's able to get those initiatives out there and get the ball rolling, and, you know, get the infrastructure in line, that they can start doing things like that. I think it's gonna take
kind of like
a couple of months.
Didn't they have like a PlayStation mobile that was driving across the country?
Yeah, but I'm thinking.
But like at home. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm also thinking of that COVID world where, like, I'm still afraid to go to a bus with strangers and touch controllers, you know?
I got it.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if they, like, if we're never getting a PlayStation experience again, like every 3 months they do a PlayStation experience and just throw demos that people can download and play for a week.
I mean, how cool would that be if they just rebrand it and it's a digital event where they showcase indies?
Yeah.
You know, it'd be like, hey, gang, we're having this event. It's purely for indies. And all these games we're able to play right now via this demo system that we got. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, that'd be great.
With that, gang, that's been the Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players. Before we leave, I do want to give one shout out to a viewer that it disappeared.
Oh, no.
iTunes, you suck. Why does iTunes literally is garbage? Why do we have to use it as a metric?
Hold on. I'm searching.
You know, it's Apple. You're on notice. You know what, Steve Jobs, you're on notice.
Oh, while you're trying to find it, because I know what you're leading up to.
Yeah.
We have a thing to throw down for you out there. Okay.
Okay.
If you haven't already, on iTunes, you know what you should do? You should leave us a 5-star review.
Yes.
I'm gonna tell you right now why you need to do that.
Do it.
PS5 is coming this year, apparently.
That's what they
when
say.
it does, if you can get us to the magical 3-digit number, 100 reviews, 5-star reviews, myself and Joe, your first PS5 game will be on us. We will pay for your first PS5 game when you pick up a PS5 later this year, if and only if you'll get us to 100 5-star reviews. How will that happen? If you tweet at us a snapshot of your 5-star review or DM us, from here on out, you will be automatically entered.
Yeah.
So whenever that PS5 comes out, you will get it.
Yeah.
Once we hit that number 100, we will pick a winner.
And real talk, because iTunes now, we don't call it iTunes anymore. Us Apple kids. It's Apple Podcasts.
Yeah. There you go.
Now. Right?
Yeah.
So now that they switched over to Apple Podcasts, what we usually were able to do to check is I would check the places that we get the most traffic from. So US, UK, Canada, Australia, Netherlands. What up, Netherlands?
Serbia. Aren't we number one in Serbia?
We are the number one PlayStation, or just podcast, apparently, in Serbia. So, yeah, what we usually do is we take a look at those reviews that come in, but now it just locks us into the great US of A. So the wall is on us here. So please, if you're from the UK, if you're from Canada, tweet us your review. We get that counted in the system. If you've already reviewed before as well, you're automatically entered. So once we hit that magical 100, we'll announce the winner. We'll kind of do a little RNG. We'll scramble it up for everybody. We'll pick the winner. Then we'll give you about 2 weeks to go and claim your reward. DM us, and yeah, we'll give you your first PlayStation 5 game. With that, our 71st review on the on the great US of A Apple Podcast review comes from Jose. What up? Another Joe here. I like it. I love it a lot. I absolutely love Joe's various character voices. By God, thank you very much. And the two's discussions of gaming. If you love gaming, PlayStationing, laughing, and overall good time, then in caps lock, this is the podcast for you. Smiley face with glasses.
Nice.
Thank you so much, man. That means the world. And again, go over Apple Podcasts, wherever you can, rate us 5 stars. It really does help us out. It helps shine a light on this podcast so that we get more awesome people to view us, and we build this big, beautiful family that we call home over here at the Trophy Room. With that, Kyle, is there anything you'd like to plug before we get on out of here?
As always, I like to plug myself. It's usually pimp. Plug myself sounds odd. Whodat Ninja 73 on Twitter and on PSN. Something that myself and Joe really enjoy is when you send us friend requests with a little caption like, hey, heard you on Trophy Room, we love the show. That warms both our hearts tremendously, so thank you for that. As well as hit up kindanyc.com for all the other stuff that I do, including Dollar Slice and Platform Agnostic, our other gaming show. And we just got our custom URL, youtube.com/kindanyc.
There you go.
So thank you for that.
And yeah, seriously, all the messages. I'm sorry it gets so late, because like usually I don't check the messages whatsoever. You know, like that's just I just ignore it. I don't know. I'm just weird. And so, yesterday or as of recording like a day or two ago, I just checked our friend request and just seeing like the outpour of like love and everything. Man, that's awesome. Seeing that is awesome. So like, of course I'm going to add you. Now, is it slowing my PlayStation down?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. With that, you can find me and you can find this show over at youtube.com/badbitgames. And you can find the show as well on Apple Podcasts, where you can rate us 5 stars. Please, I need the validation. It's kind of like MySpace, all right? Please get us to the top 8. I will do anything. Okay? What do you want me to do? I'll do it. Google Play, Spotify's the big one. Find us there. Again, go ahead, listen, download it, and all that. It really does help us out. As we're growing, we want to grow smart. We want to bring awesome people with us. Again, also, please check out PS Trophy Room on Twitter, Mr. Badbit on Twitter. Get up to date with all the Trophy Room stuff and our community game nights next week. Again, everyone, thank you all so much. Keep your wits about you. Thank you, Jose, for the review. And keep hunting, keep playing PlayStation.